Hey, we're here with Mark Nantais from the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association, and welcome to the ARC Investment Forum. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Okay, so when you think about the efficiency mandates of the U.S. government with the Obama administration, about a 30% improvement in fuel economy in the next 10 years, do you think that's doable?
Well, it's certainly a challenge because in our industry that represents maybe 2 new product cycles. So that's not very far away for us. So it's a challenge, but there's a lot of new technologies that are available, technologies that we already have in place, but there's also a broad scope of different technologies on the immediate horizon, whether that's in the internal combustion engine and all the other technologies that would support that in terms of lightweighting, new transmissions, start-stop technologies. These are all things that will improve fuel economy. And then we have the electrification side, which is everything from plug-in hybrids to full connected or full battery electric vehicles. So these are all the things that we're going to have to use to get there. But in terms of the internal combustion engines, there's still some room to go.
Well, and that's really interesting because all these technologies exist technically, but like you say, it takes a while to roll them out in commercial models. It doesn't just happen in a year or two across the whole fleet.
Well, that's right. And we have to design, we have to test, we have to validate, and ultimately bring it to market. And that does takes a little bit of time, and it takes a lot of money to do so. But that's the nature of our business. But in 10 years, as I said, that's only 2 product cycles essentially.
Right.
So there's a lot of ground to cover in that short period of time. And this is the essence, I should say, of this midterm evaluation in the United States. We want to restart that, make sure that all of the information that's available is fully considered, and that is factored into any future decision making on those targets for those standards.
So it may be the outcome of this process is that you still have those types of economy goals, but maybe a bit of a different time frame.
Well, it's hard to say, and I mean, it's ultimately the consumer who demands the vehicles, and they're the ones who make the decision to purchase a vehicle or not. Usually it's one that meets their utility needs, their comfort needs, etc. So there's that aspect of it, but there's also the aspect of the price of gasoline and trying to introduce new technologies in a low energy cost environment. Those are all things, externalities that will ultimately feed into the final evaluation that is expected in April of 2018.
Okay, another topic that we've talked a lot about today at the forum was about electric vehicles and autonomous vehicles. How does the auto industry view this? Do they view this as a positive or negative development?
Well, let's call it simply a new development. It's a movement into a new business model. It's a movement into almost a new paradigm in terms of personal transportation. And it's going to bring with it a whole new economy, if you will, in terms of personal transportation. So whether it's connected vehicles, whether it's autonomous vehicles, or whether it's ride sharing in the future, these are all things that companies see opportunities. And those opportunities will be factored into their new business models. And those who sort of make this adaptation, even though it may be disruptive in many respects, those are the companies that are ultimately going to be our future transportation companies. I don't want to call them vehicle manufacturers, but I would say let's call them future transportation companies.
So there's a big change coming, but there's also a lot of opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah. And we love change.
Good. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming to the forum. It's been great to have you here.
It's been great for me too, as I've learned a lot today, actually. Thank you.
Thank you.